And continuing on that note, in terms of industry, I would now like to give the floor to Kim Scoville, who's Executive Director for iCERT, the Industry Council for Emergency and Response Technologies, giving us a bit more of a federal perspective, but also working closely with New York, of course. Kim, the floor is yours, please.
All right. Thank you very much. Let me get my slideshow going.
There we are.
Yep. Can you see it? Fantastic. Well, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good day to everybody. Thanks for attending the program, and special thanks, of course, to Martin at Business Sweden and to the Swedish Consulate for hosting us. As he noted, I am Kim Robert Scoville. I'm Executive Director of iCERT, which stands for the Industry Council for Emergency Response Technologies. I'm also a former resident for a long time of Rochester, New York, an area I and my family greatly enjoyed. And I'm happy to join Ed and Joel and Sharon and Sander and Rohit here today, and to speak very briefly about business and technology development in the public safety arena, and in particular, public safety's excitement regarding 5G and advanced services. I thought Sharon's notes about comment, and of course about Cosmos, and Rohit's discussions were very interesting in this regard, and you'll hear many similar themes, which I think validates that the industry in general, public safety, has embraced many of these trends and technologies for good and fundamental reasons, and hopes to do more and build on them. Now, of course, it's a large topic, and I'm confident you'll appreciate that my comments are at a very high level. They're iCERT's comments. I'm not representing any particular iCERT member's views. And Martin will be sharing the slides, I'm sure, along with the video. But if anybody needs to reach me directly, my contact information will be available, and I'll be happy to send our slides or to anyone who might need them. Quick word about iCERT. I think many of us are introducing ourselves to each other and our organizations for the first time. So allow me a minute or so to talk about iCERT. We are a 15-year-old or a trade association. In fact, we're the only international, national, US-based trade association exclusively representing commercial public safety entities, and many of whom, of course, are New York-based and operate in New York State, and several of our members are currently involved with New York City's NG 911 upgrade and initiative. But our membership is diverse, to put it mildly. Our members range from private and commercial wireless network providers, LMR providers, cloud providers. Both Microsoft and AWS are on our board of directors. We have software companies, analytics companies, a big area in public safety, growing area in public safety, ESINet providers, traditional NG 911s, integrators, CAD providers. If you're in the public safety space, we probably have one of your competitors, one of your smart competitors, already as an iCERT member. So if you provide services in the public safety arena, we have a home for you in iCERT. Our initiatives are pretty obvious for a trade association, and we try and work hard at them. We advocate at all levels of government, state, local, federal, for increased funding in public safety. Money drives the business model, drives innovation. The more money government can spend and infuse into the ecosystem, the better all our members do, and frankly, the better public safety does. We certainly advocate for the use and application of public safety technologies, education, explanation. Public technologies are a force multiplier. They can save money. All the good things that everybody wants from government services, so we advocate for that. And of course, we continually look for ways to help our members meet their organic and marketplace goals, their operations, revenue goals, all those things that help them succeed as businesses. And because the better they do, the better, of course, we do. And so we're always looking for opportunities to do that. And some of the examples of just a few of the things we do, some very unique to iCERT. We send RFP and RFI leads to our members every single day. These are brand new business opportunities that our members receive at no extra charge with membership. We have an innovative arrangement with an insurance broker who deals almost exclusively in the communications marketplace, and so they have special programs and discounts for telecommunications companies. We have newsletters, meetings. We do all the traditional stuff that you might expect a trade association to do. In particular, we have fantastic relationships with all of the current public safety associations, NENA and APCO, NASDA, and I hope from today we'll be expanding our relationships with more business development groups and associations. I'm always happy and look forward to the opportunity to network and find opportunities for our members to be speakers, to explain our programs and services. All those things are very important. And the education about public safety is important to people as well as to business. So we take every opportunity to do that we can. We promote the interest of our members because our members, as leading public safety providers, large and small, they directly benefit, of course, the public safety ecosystem, and when that does better, everybody does better and is safer. And we're happy and proud of our exceptional efforts since 2005. So if you have an interest, we're around. We're happy to help. From a high level, what is 5G from a benefits perspective that impacts public safety? And Rohit noted several of these, so I'm glad to validate his comments. Of course, performance, bandwidth, lower latency, those are all very important. By definition, really by the architecture of the technology, 5G increases signal density, more towers, more antennas, greater coverage. That's going to lead to improved mobility performance, improved overall performance, but particularly for public safety, improved mobility performance. One that I hadn't thought of until I did more research and talked to some members is redundancy. In a disaster scenario, a flood or a hurricane or, a fire, you name the disaster, and seems like we've had them all lately, redundancy is important. So 5G and 4G networks are going to coexist for a long time. And it also provides the ability for public safety entities that wanted to go this route to have multiple carriers. So the long and short of it is increased redundancy, and that's a bottom line. Seems very basic, foundational, but that's important to public safety. And of course, anytime they can increase their redundancy and reliability, they're interested in that. And of course, new services. As Rohit noted, the more you start thinking about increased performance and bandwidth and lower latency, your imagination and your technical possibilities for new services starts to snowball, and all kinds of new things become possible. For example, with looking at lower latency and increased bandwidth, all sorts of video applications, everything related to video, whether that's situational awareness, body cams, which that's used to be a new thing, that's old hat now. Anything related to video, in-car video, traffic video, drone video, all those things become much more accessible and much more possible because of the benefits to the network of a 5G infrastructure. Another one that I hadn't thought of that's becomes obvious to public safety folks is the extension of web-based applications. It's one thing to have to build an application for a narrowband network, but when you can take your current web-based application and just extend it because the network is smarter and faster and has lower latency, suddenly all sorts of tangential intelligence and administrative services that were only available if you were at your desktop or had a good connection suddenly can be downshifted to the car or to the ambulance. And this greatly increases their efficacy, the timeliness of those applications. It just was an interesting perspective on how public safety can be enhanced by 5G and related technologies. Of course, with signal density and coverage, much more accurate location and the promise of really accurate indoor location all of these are very important. I mean, location has incredible value to public safety. You just named the scenario or use case. Someone doesn't know where they are, can't say where they are. It's a sensor that needs to transmit location. It's moving. It's a crisis in motion. All of those things. And as I noted in mobility performance, you know, the concept of we talk about smart cities, or Rowan talked about smart cities. What about the smart ambulance or the smart fire truck that, you know, on the way to the hospital or the emergency room, the EMS technicians are doing critical work that they couldn't do before because they might have real-time video and technology connectivity to doctors and services en route. I don't know. You can imagine any one of a number of scenarios in that perspective, and it you know, just let your imagination run wild. Redundancy, reliability, talked about that. You know, having 4 and 5G services back each other up, and of course multiple carriers. Should something happen, somebody have an infrastructure or software problem, as does happen, having the ability to have redundancy is important. And then new services, and I just, you know, the laundry list of this is very long, and I just picked a few. iCERT has been active for the past several years in the drone space, and our members are always asking what's going on with drones. And now we're seeing providers that are, and jurisdictions, I should say, that are using drones as the first responder. There are a few cutting edge companies that have partnered with public safety agencies that when you make an emergency call, the first person that shows up is a drone. And the reduction in response times is amazing. You know, you can sometimes get a drone in under 2 or 3 minutes. A drone can be in your driveway, and it might be with a defibrillator or insulin shot or a Narcan for a drug overdose. It's amazing. I've seen the demos, and it's just amazing. Already talked about telemedicine, patient data, video evidence, being able to preserve video information, catalog it, analyze it, accident scene measurements, all kinds of things can be done faster and better. And of course, I talked about the application of web-based services, or the web application being accessible to the person in the remote location. You know, you're all familiar with all sorts of analytics services, predictive models that could be available, language translation, a lot of web-based language translation, but hard to get that down to the car or get that to the officer or the EMS person on site. But with a more robust network, it's possible to take that web application and get it down there and make it available in real time. I didn't even begin to scratch the surface on ticketing and database services and things related to mundane financial management and administration, record keeping, but all those things, of course, that if they're available in a web application, being able to get them to the ultimate user sooner increases the amount of information and the usefulness of those services and those products. So there you go. I know we're short on time, so I kept my comments high level. Happy to follow up with who would have any questions about anything we've said, and happy for anybody who would like to work with us or join us. And so, Martin, I'll send it back to you.